Hey guys, and how goes it today? So obviously today's subject is about Jurassic Park, very obviously, that's most of the channel. But we're going to talk about a connection that Jurassic Park has to another franchise, King Kong. Most notably the 1933 King Kong, but we'll get to the other connections later. But obviously Jurassic Park clearly took a huge inspiration from King Kong. I mean, I don't know if Michael Crichton took inspiration from the novel, but I know Steven Spielberg did for sure, because he absolutely loves that movie. And most of the inspiration came from King Kong. Again, like I said, we're talking about the classic right here, the 1933 King Kong. You see Kong here fighting what they called a meat eater, which I believe was a Tyrannosaurus Rex or some kind of allosaur. I do not recall. I always just say a T-Rex, but they call it a meat eater. But obviously everybody knows the very famous line of why it's connected is because this line right here. What have they got in there? King Kong, according to Dr. Ian Malcolm, which is pretty funny. That line always cracks me up, and whenever I see big gates, I always have to say it, because I finally saw King Kong like when I was like 10 or 11, and I finally understood what King Kong was, honestly. And obviously there's the big gates right there, and it looks very Kongish. It really, really does. Now, I did my research as best I could to find all the connections to this. This is just me. If you find more research, just let me know. But obviously, as we see the huge, gigantic, iconic gates of Jurassic Park, we see the King Kong gates. Obviously, not the same, but similar. You got the big wooden panels here and there, and there's all the villagers right there. I'm assuming this is most of the cast, and them having a photo. I think that's where they bring in the blonde chick for a sacrifice. Anyways, and also, here's a bunch of stop-motion animators, because Jurassic Park originally was going to be a mix of live action with stop motion, which I still would like to see. I think that would work really well still. But obviously a lot of stop motion came from Ray Harryhausen and everybody else who's done stop animation, and obviously go back to 33 King Kong. Everything was stop motion. Everything was all like miniature. I wouldn't say animatronics, but just armature type skeletons with these creations over it, like skin, fur, all that fun stuff. It looks really darn good. Again, here's the meat eater again, and then here's Kong versus the meat eater. Again, I'm just going to call it meat eater. Again, I don't know if it's T-Rex or allosaur. I believe it's supposed to be just meat eater, they said, but I mean, obviously this thing is huge. This is ginormous, and you can see actress Fay Wray down there hiding from the fight. And then speaking of fights, 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong. I know this is from the ride, Universal, but I just like this image. I just thought it would work perfectly for this instead of the generic one you always see all the time, which I probably do have. But this is their V-Rex, and it looks very cool, very crocodilian. It looks very Jurassic Park inspired, honestly, with their own mix to it. I really like the crocodilian type jaw with the teeth overlay, all that stuff, kind of like the Indominus Rex. But fast forward to 2017, we get the lovely and fantastic Kong Skull Island, part of the MonsterVerse, and Kong, Titan, and all that fun stuff. I love this movie. It's great. A lot of Jurassic Park was inspired, or Jurassic Park inspired most of this movie, and even the director, who's from my home state, said that as well, and Pokemon and all that fun stuff. But here's some props that are left over that are on the island of Kauai. You can still go visit and check out these props from Kong Skull Island, along with there's footprints for the 1998 Godzilla film, which I talked about in the Lost World Godzilla video. But anyway, so here's the island. This is a nice photo I found of Kauai. It looks very, very amazing. You can tell, honestly, that I think that's the valley they used for Jurassic Park. When they flew in on the helicopter, it looks really cool. But again, this island was used for many shows, many movies, etc., and everything going on. I believe the new Monarch show too. But yeah, here is Skull Island from the 2017 movie. Now, if you look at it, it looks like a skull, clearly. But to me, honestly, when they showed this on screen, it looked a lot like Isla Nublar. It really did. It really looked like Isla Nublar to me. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't think that's clear inspiration, but just the way it's shaped and where they filmed, it's kind of funny. And another connection right here. We have good old Samuel Jackson as Packard. Basically kind of like, oh my god, I forget his name. The guy who hunts the whale. For some reason I can't think of his name. Ishmael, whatever. He's hunting for Kong, but also we know Samuel Jackson from Jurassic Park. This is the first time I ever saw this actor besides Star Wars later on in my life, and and Deep Blue Sea. That's a good movie too. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, there's the connection right there. You got him and him in both movies. But also to Universal. Here's a picture from Universal. Here's the ride: Jaws ride, King Kong ride, Jurassic Park. I think it looks like the classic 33 King Kong as well. But yeah, I know they're basically Universal properties and whatnot, but the main reason why I talked about this is because the main connection is Fay Wray, the actress right here, who played the amazing character in 1933 King Kong. For some reason, her name's escaping me. I do not know why. I should know this, but it's okay. I just know the Fay Wray actress. And obviously, here's an iconic image of her being held by Kong, which is obviously a real prop they did. And obviously, that was like a background that they filmed on and whatnot. And she looks terrified. But obviously, you've seen the movie. You know how this scene ends. It is very sad, unfortunately. But also, she did show up in 1993 when they were filming. So there's good old Michael Crichton, the author. There's Kathleen Kennedy back there. There's Fay Wray right there in the middle, looking up right at Michael Crichton. And then you have Steven Spielberg, and then you have the good old Stan Winston. Obviously, I'm sure Steven Spielberg was fangirling inside, because I would be too if I filmed a movie based off an inspiration that I love. Like, if I were to film my own Jurassic Park in the future or something, I would love, or a dinosaur movie, I'd have Steven Spielberg there. But thought it was really cool. Hope you guys like this, and take care and be excellent to each other.